Hey, what's good? It's Rockman, and welcome back to. I don't have a name for this quite yet. I don't think. I was playing around with Get Gold, but we'll see how that goes. We'll see if I actually get gold as well. So considering from the last time I recorded sets, this is actually I think this was like the next day I went online and started playing, and I ran into a what's a good way to put it? An interesting Chun-Li player. Essentially, this is where I start realizing some people in these in lower ranks use one or two gimmicks that I need to just deal with before I like get too deep. Sometimes I try and go way too deep into matches and overthink situations when it's a very simple solution. In this case, I realized pretty early on what this Chun-Li was gonna do. Like here, I didn't necessarily get it just yet. I'm kind of being a bit soft. I'm not trying to go in or anything. I dropped the confirm there. I really have to work on my confirms. Like that's something that really hurts me a lot. Like again, dropped another one. That was easy damage and corner carry I dropped. But yeah, this Chun-Li, if you haven't noticed it yet, is very simply going to go for V-skill head stomp every time. And normally at the right range from a fireball. So fireball, V-skill head stomp. And I'm not sure why I was able to punish this as consistently as I normally would. I think I'm being kind of a little cautious. I could have ES Rasenha a couple of those, but dropped another confirm. I actually had the jab into the crouch medium punch. I'm pretty sure it was a counter hit if I saw that correctly, so I should have had that. And that's probably my biggest weakness I'm seeing right now. And I'm actually recording this commentary quite a few days later, and it's becoming more apparent that that's one of my biggest issues I had to work on is just confirming things. I'll have the hit now, just drop the combo. Now, the plus side is that I've been using the hitbox, so it's been a lot easier to identify when I'm having issues and where they are, rather than like having to guess is it something with a stick. I feel a lot more confident when I execute things on hitbox, so I can kind of figure out, oh, it's this problem here. That's mine as soon as I can punish that, obviously. But I think he's gonna do lightning legs later. I'm not gonna punish it either. And now I'm kind of letting him do what he wants, and I'm getting to the point like, okay, you know what? Because I'm getting greedy for damage, and I forget that I have Corinne, who can't anti-air very well. And when people say that she can't anti-air very well, I realize that it's not about general, like very obvious anti-air. We can just stand fierce it. But in situations like this, where if I was playing Cammy right now, I could DP it. If I was Ken, I could DP it. If I was Jury, I could DP it or stand fierce it. But Corinne, all her anti-airs have very specific ranges where they work. There, I was like, all right, screw it. You're gonna do it again. So I was just waiting because it's a very obvious pattern. Throw slow or throw a little fireball, and then V-skill, try and stop in my head. Unfortunately, the strategy doesn't get much deeper than that. So, you're not gonna show the entire set. It's just it gets a little bit repetitive because it's gonna be the same thing over and over again. So, the Chun-Li player is just very determined to get this V-skill. I don't know if he's practicing something in particular or not, but it was very weird because it's not like he got a lot of reward off of that, except for I think one round where I just really just was trying to do other things. I was trying to find ways to anti-air it, and I think I eventually resorted to air-to-air. We'll see here the next match coming up now. There wasn't really much else in this match to go off of, except for like I said, the one round that he won, which should be coming up here soon, was a little bit more interesting. But overall, it was just kind of the same thing. It's gonna be. I almost, when I record these replays, I'm almost mistaken that I upload the same match twice. I'm like, this looks the same. And then the one round, oh yeah, okay, this is different. This is a different match, definitely, totally different match. But yeah, that time he actually missed completely. I could have punched him there on his landing frames, but I didn't, which is kind of dangerous anyway because it's online. That's the other thing about it too. Is a lot of time online, stuff that shouldn't work will work, and I'm sure everybody knows. But it's just frustrating because you're like, you know that shouldn't work, but you know you're trying to punch it properly, but there's a little bit of lag or there's a lag spike, and it's like, well, so I got to deal with it. Here I'm starting to kind of get a feel for everything. I really should do EX for Senha, but I think I want to keep the meter. And I'm trying to think of something else I can end with, and I came up blank. There, as soon as he activated, I'm like, I know what he's going to do. He wants to come in and get pressure because he's already down in life, so there's no point in me being coy about it. I'm just going to go ahead and EX for Senha. If I'm wrong, I got plenty of life to survive it. He's doing the same thing again. It's just, he's got a fireball. Now he's jumping. That is a little bit of a change. He's trying to jump in. He's jumping in the ring I really can't anti-air him directly from. But here it's like, okay. It's not like he can do from here. And he's getting kind of wild here. He's getting desperate. I'm just trying to keep myself calm. Like, I don't care. I'm not even going to worry about anti-airing. I'm not going to risk it. Just walk back. It's very obvious what he's trying to do. I'll just medium kick. It's fine. Something I'm trying to do more of too is just like stay calm. There I knew the fireball was coming because it's kind of been the way he's been playing and the range he plays at. I can see like, okay, he's gonna fireball here. There's gonna throw a fireball. He didn't V-skill that time, which surprised me. Then he did it right after it, so he didn't surprise me. And now this is where I start getting impatient. I'm like, look, I'm getting tired of you doing this because he's not learning. And it's very obnoxious. So I'm trying to find other ways. Now I'm just gonna try and find ways around it so I know for future reference what I can do about it. But now he's kind of going ham right now. One thing I've noticed from watching my matches recently and watching these sets is I need to find other ways to start my offense aside from jumping. That is a huge problem, and I don't think that's something new to me. I dropped another confirm. See, that confirm there would have been the end of the game because I could have confirmed into good damage, and then once he got up, confirmed into a V trigger or confirmed the V trigger off of meaty, got him dizzy, and that would have been it. That's supposed to be super. That was 100% super. I messed it up. I do EX% high here, and I'm like, he learned his lesson by now, right? Nope, does it again. I tried to EX% high, but I couldn't tell what side he was on, so I think just my motion got confused. And I did it too late, too. And he actually V-skilled me to death. And I'm like, okay, I'm not losing to this. Sometimes you will, and it's frustrating. I've got to learn how to deal with things that, you know, they seem simple on the surface, and maybe they are, but I'm losing to it. Because if I'm losing to it, that means I need to understand why I'm losing to it and not get frustrated, which I was doing a good job of this day. Yep, and I'm now just jumping back roundhousing every time he does it. So he's going to pay for it with much more damage than usual. But now he's not doing it anymore. Now he's trying to actually play a ground game. I'm just jumping his badly timed fireballs, but then he gets right back to it. Like, he was doing okay, he just started going V-skill again. And that's what's going to get him killed. The first time he used EX Spinning Bird, a lot of time on Wake Up, I would just let him get up for free because I was afraid he would do Spinning Bird. But that time he actually did it. And that surprised me. EX somehow we're good. Now I'm just jabbing him. And I'm just being patient. I'm not even going to go for anything fancy. No need to. I'm just going to throw him out of this because he's either he throws text or he takes damage because there's nothing he can do faster than me. I have a 3-framer. Then he did a bad fireball and I was sent out it and it was good. We're all set. So in that match, it was just a matter of he was a one-trick pony basically that he resorted to that every time. And even when he had moments where he broke out of it, he would go back to it and put himself in a bad situation. So I was able to take advantage of that. Obviously, my confirms are doing just terrible, and I'm still not doing great at getting my confirms. Also, I need to practice that more. It's probably the thing I put most of my time into, aside from the ground game and learning everybody's what to do against everybody's tools. This set is going to be real fun because it's against Abigail, and I really have only played like one other Abigail since the game came out. Now, as of the recording of this commentary, I've played more Abigails, and I've done worse. So I really need to practice that matchup and understand exactly what I can do with certain tools that he has. Particularly his light punch destroys me. It's quite obnoxious. And I'm not sure what I can do about his normals as opposed to mine. Because I'm not very good at whiff punishing, so I gotta work on that. It's funny, when I do these videos, I seem to say a lot of like, I need to work on this, I need to work on that. Because there's a lot I gotta work on. Again, this is going back to my point of like, I need to start learning other ways to start my offense to jump in. Because I'm doing it again. I'm just gonna keep jumping in on it. He's gonna catch on pretty soon. That's not gonna work forever. And I'm trying to jump. I jump again and stay in light punch because why not? And I drop another confirm, and that's the easier confirm I dropped. That's a crouching medium punch to stand medium punch. And that's the one I do in my sleep. That's the one I do before bed every night. After I pray, I cut on Street Fighter 5 and I do crouch medium punch, stand medium punch. And now he's got me in the corner and he's just pressing normal, and I don't. That was terrible. That should have been crouch medium punch and crouch medium kick into the confirm. I didn't do it. Now I'm just jumping way too much. Like, I'm okay here. I don't have to jump. I can actually just play my range. There, though, I didn't realize that he was prepared with the charge back heavy punch when I jumped in the air. He quickly turned around. He dashed under me, turned around, and charged it up. So I'm like, oh, I don't even know what to do with this. I think most of my problem with him is just unfamiliarity. I think most of my problem with the game in general is like I know basic footsies ideas, but a lot of things that characters do I'm not 100% familiar with, and also different playstyles for those characters. So it's gonna be a matter of me continuing to do things like this, continue to take notes, continue to look at my matches critically, and then make actual changes, like make actual effort to make those changes, take it to the lab and study, which I've been doing. I mean, in pieces, really, doing it here and there. This sucks. Cause he crossed me up and I'm like, I'm so dead. I just knew I was done. And again, I'm starting my offense with the wrong thing, and I dropped another confirm, and he did it again. That was just, I hate looking at that round because it's such an indication of what my problem is right now. Oh, I missed something. Let me do a cross up. Oh, I missed something. Do a cross up. I was lucky that round he kind of let me do it, but I've been getting destroyed for that, and it's a bad habit. I guess I've always done that. I'm not gonna say it's something new. I think that something's always been there, and I just didn't notice it until recently when I started watching my matches again, and I was like, wow, I really do try and go for cross-ups a lot. And I think it's primarily this game. You know, I did have a habit of doing that in Cross Tekken too. I think I try sometimes too often to find a one-button solution to a complex problem. Did I get the combo? Yes, I did. And I kept the meter in case I needed to get out of the situation, so I didn't want to do super. I get supered. That one jump is going to end up being the end of me because he does so much damage. And that's my biggest problem with this matchup, is I feel like Abigail does so much damage compared to even what I can do as Corinne off of any confirms. It puts me in so many bad situations. I don't know if he's that armor yet. Now I know I can just EX for Senha that or anything that's multi-hit that'll get me out of its range, but at the time I just wasn't even reacting to it. I was just like, oh god, what do I do about this armor? He does so much damage, and it's just so mentally frustrating to fight against characters like that, especially in Street Fighter V right now. So it's kind of a prominent thing where characters are able to make pretty crazy comebacks off of 1 or 2 confirms. Not excluding my own character. Corinne is good at that too. If I get one good confirm, provided I can actually confirm things, I can make pretty incredible comebacks off of max damage. But it's something that I need to work on dealing with in this game because it's not new. And I think that's probably why I'm more tolerant of than a lot of other folks are, because that was definitely a component of Cross Tekken. Now, granted, it was more difficult to do in Cross Tekken, but it was still there. But NXT, you definitely, I had a lot of combos and whatnot where it was like, just get one hit confirmed. Especially when I had Jury and Jack. If I just got an anti-air off Crouch Fierce when I had full meter, that was it for your character. It did 6 or almost 700 damage, provided I didn't drop it, but it wasn't easy to drop, so it was pretty good. Anyway, getting back to this game, my point being, I have learned how to deal with Abigail on that level. I think I'm playing as a Cross Tekken character almost, in the sense that he can just turn a match around in 2 or 3 hits. Like even somebody like Ibuki or Laura needs to actually like do mix-ups to do that. He can just really power through your attacks, your normals, kind of skip neutral, and just do tons of damage off of a lack of malice, or try it again, off of a lack of matchup knowledge. I definitely should do commentary. So right now I'm trying to do as much pressure as I can, and again I'm doing too much jumping. I should have did a V-skill there. But try to do as much damage as I can. I'm still going for too many, just jumping too much, going for too many cross-ups. I need to just stay solid. There I wasn't sure if I even had the right range to anti-air, so I just went for the easiest thing. I got fortunate there because I did the wrong one, but he fell for the 2015 Okie-doke. So I need to get behind him and just get the stun. I'm sure he didn't fall for it, he just didn't react to it. But you get one of those a set. Once that's done once, you're never getting that again. So I can't go for that mix-up again. I did a bad Rasenhan and did not finish it, so I ate damage. I really should have at least tried to do the throw, but I don't do that enough. I don't know why. I just kind of accept my fate. There I just want to get out of the corner. That time my jump out was something I actually wanted and should have done. There I just kind of noticed he was overextending himself. I missed the shoulder, but I think that's because of the corner and because of his hitbox being so weird. His hurtbox being so weird or so big. I'm not sure what it is. I had to try that in the corner and see if I can hit that consistently. It was just really odd. I had the timing right, but I thought I crossed him up on that one, and I landed in front of him because it's really hard to tell where he even crosses up at, or you even cross him up at when you jump. At least for me right now. Again, a lot of my problem with him and with Manad or with Balrog or any of the other characters really comes down to matchup familiarity. Like, until this point, I really hadn't fought any other Abigails. I only fought like one, and that one destroyed me. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I put the video up on the channel or not, but it was an Abigail that just completely wrecked me and made me useless. And so that was my only experience with Abigail. I've not played any other Abigails. And now I've played about 2 or 3, including a friend of mine, Sack Lunch, and he plays pretty decent Abigail. I mean, we played last night and he made me rage. He made me rage quit. And I don't do that. He said lyingly. Lyingly is not a word. Lyingly is not a word. I just made that up. Anyway, so I won that round. Kept him in the corner, did a quick throw loop, and it was fine. And at this point, I feel like, okay, I think I have a grip on what's going on. I kind of see what he wants to do. Not that I have a grip on the matchup. At this point, I'm just kind of like thinking to myself, like, okay, just survive the next match. Survive the next few situations in this upcoming match, and you'll be fine. You got the set with a win. You'll keep the lion's share of your points. I think he was ranked higher than me. Let me check and see when it comes back up. I believe he's ultra silver. At the time I was super silver. Yep. So he was higher than me. So I still was coming out on the plus side of this, even if I lost. So it was a little bit less pressure. But if I won, I would be much closer to where I want to be at as far as my next level up is, you know, rank and whatnot. And with the whole point of this right now being me getting to gold, it would kind of suck to get knocked back down a peg. And I'm trying not to. And I also try not to think about the actual status of the match. I'm back to playing ranked not super often. I try and do a few sessions here and there. And I make sure to record all the matches. Only because of the fact that I want to make sure that I have a documentary of like what I'm going through. And also, like I said, it's for me to take notes and kind of see where I'm messing up at. Doing commentary for it has been really helpful to do that. And this is where I get really scared, because I'm like, now he's approaching me, and I'm already not comfortable outside of neutral, and he's just kind of going in, and I love Bay Area Sunrise. I think it's one of the best throws in the game, but I hate getting hit by it, because I feel like an idiot when I do. Bay Area Sunrise is one of the most salt-inducing throws in the history of fighting games, in my opinion. Probably not. I'm over-exaggerating. The reason I say this is just because of the fact that it comes off of the Nitro run, and it's like, you should see it. Also, his sweep is messing me up because it looks like a roll attack of some sort. Something I have to block it. I can just block it high, but it hits low on the second hit, and it's so weird to me to have an attack like that. He armored right through me. That's the other part too. Oh, he missed that one, but like I'm still learning what if it has armor and how much armor it has. That should have been a confirming to a Tenko, but that's still rough for me doing confirming light Tenko off of jab. See, I tried it again. He was like, "Nah, I got that. I know that trick. Only get it once a set." Parried me. Boom. Flip kick done. Yep. It's so. Oh man. Like I just tried to jab him out of his run. It was like, nope, nope. And he did a flip kick and then armored, and I'm like, all right, I eat all of this, and that was the end of the match. I really think I need to sit down and just test things against all of his tools. I've started to, as of last night. After I had my set with Sack Lunch, I sat down and started trying certain things to see what I could do about his light punch, see what I could do about his sweep. Just kind of get the feel for the timing when I got to punish stuff. Because the thing about me is, and I actually was talking about this with a friend of mine at our local. Like I realize too, I can read as much frame data as I want. I can watch as much match analysis as I want. I can be told things as often as humanly possible, but I'm very much not only a visual learner, but a do-it-myself learner. So once I see something, I can repeat it, but I won't get it in my head until I actually practice it. I'm a very habitual person, so like once I do something, if I do it enough times, it becomes habit. That's why it's also not good for me to play against players that have really bad habits sometimes that I can exploit, because then that carries over to against character or players that I cannot exploit those things against, and it kind of builds into my habits. I have to unlearn those things. So I think a lot of what I've been going through as well, and why I've been kind of having slow progress, is because I'm unlearning things that I've learned or, you know, was able to get away with when I was in bronze, when I was playing, you know, new characters and things like that. It's carrying over. So I need to really sit down and unlearn some of those things. Because it just builds up. And that's probably true for everybody. I think it's just something I know about myself more than anything else, is that I'm a very, like, I'm a habit kind of person. Like, it's hard for me to change habits up. It takes a lot of effort for me to be like, all right, change this habit. Change this thing you're doing. It's not a purposeful thing. That was supposed to be EX for Senha, by the way. It's not a purposeful thing. It's not like I go out of my way to not change a habit or not do something. It's how I'm built. I'm a very, like, I get comfortable doing something and I just keep that comfort. And so that's why I have to, it takes me a lot to get out of my comfort zone. And that's in every situation. But it comes out particularly while playing competitive games or, you know, learning a new craft. Her slide is actually really surprisingly good because it has like a weird block stun. I'm pretty sure it's not safe, but if it's spaced right, it's really annoying to punish. But I have to say, again, that actually I've taken the lab. I've taken Monat in the lab to play her. I've not taken her in the lab to play against her. So I have to do that more. I play against more Monat players in general. The more I watch them play Monat, the more I like read up on her and kind of learn what she's about and see other players play her. I am starting to feel like maybe I should play her, not as my main, but as a secondary. We'll see though, because she's very technical, and I'm nearly like somebody that plays like super technical characters. I say, but I kind of realized something too, which is that she plays a lot like Ram from Guilty Gear, and I play Ram following Guilty Gear alongside Biking, and I could probably do the same thing here. And I think it'd be I don't know, it might be a better choice than playing Jury as a secondary, because I feel like Jury and Corinne kind of have the same idea, except Corinne is just better at it. So I don't know. I would like to have a dedicated zoner for like grapplers, because I hate dealing with grapplers as Corinne. It's a very obnoxious matchup. And then on top of that, Monachi's actually really could be fun, but it's a very technical character, so I had to put a lot of time into her if I was going to do that. Right now, I'm just focusing, like I said, I'm focusing on Corinne because I really do work on my basics and learning to really confirm things properly. So I'm really trying to focus on that aspect of my game, and I need to stick with one character as my main to do that. But I'm still playing other characters in the lab. I still play Colleen every once in a while. I still play Jury, etc. I always say this in every video. I guess I'm justifying it to myself that I don't play other characters. But I digress. I enjoy the game that much, just playing other characters. But yeah, I still haven't taken Monat in the lab to play against her, so I have to do that and kind of see what I can do in certain situations, especially when she actually have the orb out behind me. I need to understand what her setups are and what I can do to get out of them. And then also what I can do to rush her down and not get crush counted. Because my biggest problem dealing with her right now is her staying fierce is just, it will wreck me because I want to get in. And generally, it starts off with, at first, I'm okay. I understand the timing and kind of where I can walk forward and have to get ready to block. But then after I get hit with it once or twice, or especially like around the third time I get hit with a crush counter trying to approach, then I get less and less, like my patience just drops off a cliff. And right now, this Monat player doing okay. Again, props to him or her or any Monat player or any Abigail player as well. Just anybody playing a new character and taking them into ranked immediately, I have to give you props for that, because that takes some dedication. I mean, I've done it too. I did it when I switched from Cammy to Corinne. I decided, you know what, screw my points. I was gonna take Corinne in the rank mode, and I just did it. And that was when I was on PC. It's rough to learn that way. I don't do that now. If I learn the character, I do not take them to ranked. So even if I was learning them out, you wouldn't see her in my ranked matches. You would see her in like battle lounges or something. Shoulder, yes, got it. Something weird's been going on with me lately. For the first few days I was doing this, like in match, I had it down pat, no problem. I was getting it pretty consistently. As of the last couple of days, and I don't know if it's the transition playing locally to playing on, or from playing offline or playing online, but I've been dropping a lot of Tankos out of stand medium punch or out of crouch medium kick. Like, it's been even worse than usual. There, I just didn't have a meter, but I got the stun, and I got meter now. And then I messed up. That was supposed to definitely be a jump in punish, and I just completely messed up. I don't know if I just lost track of what I was doing, or I just was like, I froze when I saw the dizzy. And I'm very notorious too for dropping dizzy combos. It's like, oh, they're dizzy. What do I do now? Particularly with the Jury, it becomes very evident. Like, I'll have a setup, and I'm like, I don't even go for stores sometimes anymore. I was playing my buddy yesterday, and I got a dizzy on him. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm about to go ahead and do max damage. So I was like, I don't have anything stored. Nope, just do a jump roundhouse, crouch fierce into flip kick. Because screw it, I'm not even gonna waste time. He will mash out dizzy so hard, so I'm good. I lost that match. Anyway, my point being is, I really have to work on a lot of just like, a lot of my problems right now isn't even just like, it's a combination of knowledge and lack of playtime. So I have to increase both of those, and obviously take things that I don't understand into the lab, which is what I've been doing as of late. But I'm realizing like a lot of it's just comfortability. And over the past year, I really haven't had as much time to play Street Fighter V as I've wanted to, or any fighting game for that matter. That's why I dropped a lot of stuff once I got the my last job. It's just I didn't have enough time and energy. Well, I won't say time. I didn't have enough energy after dealing with the day job to do what I wanted to do. So now, as of late, I've had more time to do that. I've taken some time off to just focus on, you know, things that I want to do, my channel, and doing this kind of stuff for a little bit before I pick back up with my commission work, with the writing work, and get back into a full work schedule. But doing that, I will still have time to practice now and actually go to my local and practice now, and just get some more time in and start to pick up some more knowledge. So hopefully doing this helps me out as well. Or actually, I know for me it's helping me out. Hopefully it helps somebody else out. That's what I'm hoping for. If you got any tips for me after you see the matches, let me know what you think. Let me know if I'm way off base, if I'm right, anything you know about my play style, anything that can help out, I appreciate it as well. I am open to critique as long as it's not, you know, somebody being an asshole. Other than that, I appreciate it. If you just like the videos because they're cool, then go ahead and drop a like on it. Let me know. Comment on it. I love comments. I always say that. Like, I like reading comments. I like seeing people comment on videos, so that's always appreciated. Yeah, I should have another one of these up very soon. I have a commentary for it. So until then, I will holler at you guys later.